Hello, welcome back to At Home with Cici. I am Cici, mama to 3 amazing humans and among other things, a homeschooling parent. This video is just going to be a look at my little one's notebooks. So in our homeschool we include a variety of methods and styles, I guess, and it's forever changing and evolving. But one of the staple parts of our homeschool is inspired by Charlotte Mason's educational theory regarding language and literacy, living books, children being exposed to a wide range of vocabulary in art and literature, and also notebooking. Notebooking is where a child makes notes, obviously, So notebooking in our homeschool is basically for my little one to compile everything she's learning into one space. So the learning that's happening physically can then be transferred to something more tangible. Physically as in she's doing the learning theoretically and then with her body and her words, but then tangibly we can put it down into something. And then also it creates a lovely memento for when she's older, and we can look back on where she started and where she is now and the things she would say and write and how she would form everything. It's just an all-round lovely activity and keepsake. So I'm just going to take you through 5 different notebooks that we have been doing in our homeschool. So the first is Maya's narration book. We started this on the 31st of January with The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. And narration for us is where I will read a chapter of a book, and then Maya will tell me what happened, what she remembers from it, anything she wants to share about the chapter. And often her older siblings, my older children, are in the room or somewhere where she can run to and tell them. And usually the best stuff comes from when I say, would you like to go and tell them what happened in this chapter? And then more comes out of her because she loves to share what she knows. So The Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe, there are 17 chapters I think in that book. Yes, 17. So this is 4 pages of my writing of what sorry, that's my oldest, of what Maya has shared about what she remembers from the book, or from the chapter rather. Is that clear? Not really, but basically very, very cute things. The point of it is to help little ones be more engaged, or learners be more engaged in what they're hearing, but also reading comprehension. I try not to ask too many questions, and sometimes if she's not in the mood to chat about it, the comment that day will be, Mumu fell asleep during the first reading of this chapter, and then the second time tired again and no chat. So chapter 5 just has no information about what she learned, but she listened to it and she fell asleep to it, so that's fine. But what I want her to gain from this, and what she has gained, is a more solid understanding of the story, especially because they're chapter books. They're harder to digest, especially as a 3.5-year-old. But it's language and stories that I want her to be exposed to and enjoy. And so by having one chapter at a time, and then for her to tell it back to me in her own words, allows for a stronger building of understanding and enjoyment, because she's more aware of what's happening, she understands it better, and she can share it. So that was Lion, the Witch and the Wardrobe. It's just in an old exercise book that I got a bunch of for my oldest when they were doing their GCSEs at home for their revision and note-taking and so on. So it's not the sexiest of notebooks, but the words inside are beautiful. So we are now on Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, chapter 9, and I'll just read you the last thing that was written in here. So chapter 9, there was a mock turtle. He had front big ears and he had hooves on his back legs. Right now it is in the rabbit's house. There was a gruffalo, that's my reading. There was a gruffo, but she meant griffin, that was half lion at the back and half bird at the front. They were not being nice. So that's what she remembers straight after. And then before we read the next chapter the next time, I will read back to her what she told me, what she narrated the last time. So she has an understanding of what she remembers. It helps her recall her own memory rather than me trying to explain the chapter objectively. I'm helping her recall her own memory of it. Okay, so that's our narration book. Yeah, we're on Alice in Wonderland, which is a wild book. I forgot how weird it is. And I'm not sure what the next one is going to be, but we'll see. Okay, so you may, if you've watched some of my other videos, you may have seen my Quality of Numbers book. So we should technically be on number 5, but we skipped a week. We just were focusing on other things, and so we didn't do 4 in 4's week, so we did it last week, and so we're just on number 4. Okay, so you would have seen this if you watched the lesson with us video. So each page is color coded. It's very hard to see. For each number according to the Montessori bead colors. So 1 is red. Let me hold that up better. There we go. She did Roman numerals, the English word, the Spanish word, the domino, AB pattern, number ladder, number line, the time, and our Waldorf numbering shape, and counting in ones. Then here's number 2. So it's set up a bit differently. The number, the Roman numerals, English, Spanish. Half, so the shape that has 2 sides. The formation of the number, the dominoes that make 2, so 1 and 1 and 2 and 0. Number ladder, number line patterns. Numbering shape and the time of 2 o'clock, and then different number sentences that make up 2. And 2 is even. Then we went on to 3. So there's 3, the Roman numerals, the English and the Spanish, 3-sided shape, 1/3, patterns, dominoes, and so on. So it's all very similar stuff, so she gets used to the idea of what we're doing. That's the shape made on the number line, the number wheel, the number ring. And then number 4. So most of these, or all of these really, all of these pages stem from an actual activity that we did physically on the board with our bodies, in art, and then she transferred them here as a keepsake. So this wasn't just pages and pages of work over the day. This is like consolidation of the games and things we played. And then number 5. So that's our Quality of Numbers book. It's looking great. She's having lots of fun with these lessons. Okay, this is a 3rd notebook. This one is Maya's what we call nature journal, where she will write down something and then draw an accompanying picture of what she saw outside, something in nature, something she's thinking about. And we do it with tracing the letters. Otherwise it takes her too long, and then it sort of turns the activity into a chore, turns this exercise into a chore, because she can form really well by tracing, and she can form really well on her own, but she has to think obviously more about the formation and the size of the letters, and then it takes her longer. But when she's tracing, she's like a whiz. So the first thing we did was, one day she saw a robin and she wanted to write it down. So that is our first page. Let You probably can't see very well. Let's sort that out. Okay, maybe that's clear, I don't know. So yes, and then we drew the robin, or she drew the robin, so I just guided her step by step. So I said draw a diagonal line, then a big then join it up with like a part of a rectangle, add a circle for the head and a triangle for the beak, give an eye and 2 legs. And she followed those instructions really well, and it's a beautiful little bird. And then, so every day, not every day, that's a lie, whenever she takes to it, she will want to join the book. So this one is, I saw a beautiful cat. And she drew a little cat and another cat, a ginger cat, on the grass. More birds. The pigeons. Let's find the other one that's missing. Oh, we went to go 8. So she drew herself in the tree, on the zip line. So yes, the reason she traces in this book is so that she can just get her thought down, her whatever she wants to say. She can draw her picture, and then it's done. It's not a big chore. It's a really quick situation. This one is easier to see. Oh dear, so blurry. Someone's upstairs doing some construction, if you can hear that banging. This was a nice one. And she did this one with a quill from my oldest's room when they were younger. Maya found it in her room and wanted to use it, so this one was with ink. Okay, so yes, Maya does writing without tracing in all the other notebooks, but this one it's a quick one, so we don't want it to be a chore for her. We've nearly finished this book. Nearly finished this one. Goodness gracious. Is it the daisy she picked? And then this is a tracing of her hand. And I think, oh, this is the last one. So yes, we've nearly finished. We've got a few pages left, and then we'll do it in a nicer book. But what a lovely keepsake this is. I've dated all the pages, so we'll remember when she did them. And I just think it's lovely. Yeah, so this one is really a nice one for practicing the formation without having to stress about it, obviously. So this one is great for practicing her formation by tracing the letters, thinking of interesting sentences. So she'll tell me what she wants to write, and I will write it down verbatim, but as I'm writing it, she will help me with the spelling. So I'll say, how can you help me do this one? How do we spell tree? What's the next sound? And then she'll help me and watch me write it. But then sometimes, depending on what she says, I will suggest an adjective. So I say, can you describe the cat? And then she'll say, a beautiful cat. Beautiful is one of her favourite words, adjectives. So it's just helping her think a bit more about the vocabulary as well. It's also a great opportunity for some art practice, some drawing practice, and the regular fine motor, and just attention to detail and observation of the world. So it's a fun little, a quick exercise book, but there's a lot packed in here. All right. One of my favourite books so far is Maya's Book of the World. We've only done one part of the world so far, because for February and March we were looking at Africa, which you may have seen if you watched the Africa unit study and Day in the Life video. So this is the book, Maya's Book of the World, and we haven't filled in the contents page yet because we're not complete. So we have, I drew this the word and added the patterns, and she just coloured it in with lots of colours because African fabrics and Africa itself is just a colourful, vibrant place, so we wanted lots of colour. She traced around the Montessori Continents Puzzle Africa piece and then coloured it in, and then she wrote Africa, obviously. So that's the start of that chapter. Then each 2-page spread was one of the countries we looked at. So this is Zimbabwe, and then she would write, she would colour in the direction on the compass rose rather, and then write the sentence Zimbabwe, or whatever country it was, is in the south. And then on the next page she would draw and write about something that we learned about that place. So these are the rocks of Matobo. Then this is Ghana with cocoa beans. Kenya with lots of animals. Egypt with the pyramids and her little camels. How cute are they walking past the pyramids? And she would write it up there, pyramids. This is Madagascar, I like to move it, which is her current favourite song to dance to. Yeah, Madagascar, and then lemurs. So this is King Julian in her head, but also because lemurs, there are so many species of lemurs there. And she spent ages colouring this pattern in. It's brown, black and grey, and then she added a little crown because that's King Julian. If you don't know what I'm talking about Madagascar, the film, DreamWorks film. Then Nigeria, because she loves Anna Hibiscus, and Anna Hibiscus is set in Nigeria. This is a massive nose, and then when we were looking through the book again after, she said, no, that's a mouth. I said, no, you said that was the nose, look. And I was laughing because it was so big. This is the mouth, but they're the same size. I just thought it was funny. She thought that, she made that the nose, and then looking back at it, she thought, no, that can't be the nose, it's too big. And then we did biomes in Africa. So it's a biomes picture. She made a little key here, and then she put the different animals from the different biomes and matched them up and stuck them in. This art here is from Wild Feather Edu. They have their own website, and they're also on Etsy. That the person who runs it is a stunning artist, and she just does these beautiful watercolor paintings, so many different topics and things. Yeah, so this was just one activity I printed. I think it was free biome activity. So we just cut these out and then she stuck them to match. So African biomes. Then we looked at Tanzania, obviously Mount Kilimanjaro with the big sun behind it. And then a name pattern from the book We All Went on Safari. She made up her own pattern. And then this is my writing, but this is her writing here, Swahili. These are the written numbers in Swahili, and then we did a whole activity, and this was the consolidation of it, putting it down on paper. So if you watch that video, Our Day in the Life with the African Unit Study, you'll see her doing this activity, and this is just her consolidating it using the Swahili words, the digit, and then the Montessori corresponding beads. This page was on her unit study table, and we'll come back to this activity as she gets older. So we coloured in each country that we looked at during our time. So there were 7 countries that we looked at, and we stuck it in, and that is the end of our Africa unit study. Sadly, it's been so fun, but we're going on to Europe next. Okay, last but not least, this is brand new. I think on Thursday we got this. Today for me is Sunday. So we just got a little book, sketchbook from Waterstones. We were just out on a trip, and we got some metallic watercolor paints. And on the train home, let me show you. So yeah, a little watercolor. So mini watercolor sketchbook, and then this travel set of watercolor paints. They're metallic, And they have the travel pen, so you can put water in here. Ooh, did you see that? Anyway, water comes out, obviously. And then, so she did that on the train. I'll put a picture of her doing it in a minute. And she was just painting using the colours, and she painted this beautiful shape and told me it was a golden egg. So I said, oh, what's the story of the golden egg? So she told me the story, and I wrote it down here. And then the next day, she added to it, so she did a bird, and she now remembers the way we draw birds. She forgot the head, but I still think it looks cute. So she does a diagonal, an the wing, 2 legs, and a beak. Usually we do a head and a beak, but I still think it looks like a chick. And then she told me about that chapter, or it's upside down. And then she drew a dinosaur. So I will read you her story. So this is the first chapter. Once upon a time, there was a little egg. There were 2 babies, and it was so beautiful. All of the world is beautiful, said the mummy. There were 2 babies, and one was a dinosaur, one was a one was a chick. One day, the mummy and daddy were sleeping, and crack, snap, sizzle, crack. That must be the egg, said the mummy. Then the babies hatched out, and they were gold. It was a beautiful day because it was sunny. It was spring, and blossom came. The babies were so beautiful because they had beautiful skin. They were bigger. They ate all their food in their breakfast. So the babies just went for a walk, and they got a present for Cici, their friend, the cat. The end. So random, but so gorgeous. So then the next day, she painted this one. Oh, I'll hold it up again. And the story is, this is chapter 2. The chick was non-binary. The world was beautiful than a dress. All the people in this world are so calm. They do ballet curtsies. The little chick came back to have their porridge. Then the ballet teacher stopped, and the chick ran away from the class. The chick ran to her mummy and daddy, and they cuddled their chick. They were so warm and cuddly. The chick was happy again, so they went back to the class, and the teacher was back. Very lovely. And then the last one, chapter 3. In the night, the baby dinosaur heard a roar. Then the daddy came, roar, roar, roar. Then their friend came, the lion. They had a cup of chamomile tea. It made them feel sucky-ducky. Then they creeped to someone else's house. Then one of the daddies roared, roar, and the animals jumped up. Then there was another roar, roar. It was the mummy, and then the baby roared, and that is it. The end. So again, this is another lovely keepsake, and I'm just so excited to see where this story goes and what other beautiful paintings she will do. And just look at that. How gorgeous is that? This little metallic dinosaur. So yes, that is just another little random thing we do. So these are all our notebooks so far. We have narration, maths, I guess, nature study, nature journal, and a bit of art, formation and language. We have some geography and still language, numbers, all sorts, and small art and creative writing. Okay, so those are all the notebooks we have been working on this year, and we're having lots of fun with them. As we introduce more subjects and curriculum and learning opportunities, there will likely be more notebooks. So if you are notebooking, let me know what you're up to. If you have any ideas that you think my little one might like, having seen what we do so far, let me know. I'd love to have more ideas, more inspiration. And if you have any questions, let me know. Put it all down in the comments. Like, subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you in the next one. Tell your friends.